Chosen one, stop. Not slow down, not pause for a second. Stop completely. If there is noise in the room right now, lower it. If someone is sitting next to you, get still on the inside, because what I'm about to say was not released for every ear in your space. This word has a name on it, and that name is yours. Now let me ask you something nobody else has asked you this week. What is that feeling? That low, heavy thing sitting in your chest that wasn't there a month ago? That stillness in the atmosphere around you that doesn't feel like peace, it feels like the air itself is holding its breath. You've been waking up between 2 and 4 inches the morning, not anxious exactly, just aware. Like something is moving toward you, and you can't tell yet whether to brace yourself or open your hands. You've been tired in a way that sleep cannot touch. Because it's not physical, it goes deeper than your body. It lives somewhere beneath your ribs. And here is what I need you to hear before this message goes 1 second further. That is not proof you are falling apart. That heaviness, that pressure pressing against your spirit like a storm at the edge of a closed season, that may be the most important signal your soul has received in years. Because there are moments when the atmosphere gets heavy, not because God lost control, but because something is reaching its breaking point. And the breaking point is close. Monday is coming. And Monday will be a mess, not because heaven went quiet, but because something is being permanently settled on the inside of your life, and the enemy knows it. This is why you cannot let noise sit in the room while this word lands. Not because isolation is holy by itself, but because some words get diluted the moment your soul starts performing instead of receiving. If this found you at the exact right moment, type right now, "I'm listening carefully." Stay with me to the very end, because the final declaration in this message is where we seal Monday before Monday tries to speak first. What if the heaviness you've been carrying is not the weight of defeat, but the pressure of an ending? Let me speak to something you haven't said out loud to anyone. Not your pastor, not your children, not the friend you call when things get heavy. You haven't said it because you don't have the words for it yet. But it's been there, sitting underneath everything, like a low hum under your skin that won't quiet down no matter how many times you tell yourself everything is fine. You feel crowded and alone at the same time. Think about that. The people are there, the voices, the noise, the obligations, but something inside you is profoundly, achingly by itself. And you can't explain it without sounding dramatic. So, you don't explain it. You smile. You keep moving. You've gotten very good at that. You've been irritable this week, and you don't know exactly why. Small things are landing harder than they should. A certain tone of voice, a look someone gave you that lasted half a second too long, a conversation that ended fine on the surface, but left something cold in the air. You replayed it. You analyzed it. You told yourself you were overthinking, but the feeling didn't leave. You are tired before Monday has even started. Not sleepy, tired. There is a difference. Sleepy goes away after rest. But what you're carrying right now, this particular weight, sleep, has not touched it. You wake up already wearing it. And if you are a senior listening to this right now, if you have lived long enough to have buried people you loved, survived seasons that nearly ended you, smiled in rooms where nobody asked if you were okay, then you know exactly what I'm describing. Because you've learned to carry invisible weight with visible grace. You've learned to feel the temperature of a room before anyone speaks. You've learned that sometimes the most dangerous pain is the kind that looks like composure. Hear me say this clearly, you are not falling apart. You are feeling something real. Now, here is what the enemy does not want you to understand. Nahum 1-9 declares it with finality. Affliction shall not rise up a second time. That means the cycle you have been living inside has an expiration date. But right before that expiration, right before the closing opposition, does not come loud. It doesn't announce itself. It comes personal. It comes relational. It comes atmospheric. The enemy almost never starts with the biggest attack. He starts with the most personal one. He knows your name. He knows your history. He knows which relationship carries the most weight in your chest. He knows which silence from which person will cost you the most sleep. And right before a shift, right before the verdict of heaven is executed over your life, he reaches into the most tender place and presses. That is why this Monday already feels wrong. Not because God has lost the script, but because something is being permanently settled, and the resistance you're feeling is not the storm arriving. It is the storm ending. Isaiah 43:19 says, "Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth, do you not perceive it?" God doesn't say, "I will do." He says, "I am doing." Present tense. Right now. Underneath the weight you cannot name, something is already in motion. But here is what I need you to sit with, because this is where most people miss it entirely. The problem is not just what you're feeling. The deeper issue is that you have seen this pattern before. You have felt this exact combination, the heaviness, the relational tension, the strange alertness mixed with exhaustion, and you have felt it right before something shifted, right before a door opened, right before a burden finally broke. You've been here before. You just never had a name for it. Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." Not be passive, not give up, be still. Because stillness in this moment is not weakness, it is intelligence. It is the posture of a person who has learned that the most powerful thing they can do right now is not react. Monday is not a bad day coming for you. Monday is a revealing day. It will show you who is safe and who is performing. It will expose what needs to end and what deserves to continue. It will surface things that have been hidden under the ordinary, and some of what surfaces will surprise you. There is a reason the conflict almost always comes through someone close. There is a reason the attack is timed the way it is, after restraint, not before it. After you chose the high road. After you swallowed what you had every right to say. That timing is not coincidence. And in the next part of this message, I'm going to show you exactly why this pattern keeps showing up right before something good is about to break open in your life, and why the enemy's most effective weapon against you has never been the conflict itself. It has been getting you to misread what the conflict means. Stay with me, because what I'm about to show you is not theology. It is not theory. It is the blueprint of your life, and once you see it, you will never be able to unsee it. I want you to go back, not far, just the last 3 times you were close. Close to peace, close to clarity, close to a decision that finally felt right, close to rest that your body had been begging for, close to something that felt like it was finally about to open. Do you remember what happened next? Not eventually, not weeks later, right before. Conflict erupted from somewhere you didn't expect. Confusion walked in through a door you thought was closed. Drama called, and it called loud. Someone said something. Something broke. Something shifted in the atmosphere, and suddenly the moment that was right there was gone. Now I need you to sit with this question and answer it honestly. How many times has that happened to you? 3 times? 5? More than you can count on both hands? Because here is what most people call that pattern. They call it bad luck. They call it just life. They call it my lot. They sigh. They regroup. They try again, and they carry a quiet, bone-deep belief that peace was never really meant to stay in their zip code for long. But that is not bad luck. That is not just life. That is a targeted interruption. The enemy does not waste precision attacks on people who pose no threat. He reserves his most surgical, most perfectly timed assaults for the ones who are standing closest to the open door. Because he cannot lock the door, God already holds those keys. So, instead, he manufactures chaos right at the threshold. Just loud enough, just personal enough, just painful enough to make you turn around and walk back into the familiar. This is the pattern, and it has been running in your life longer than this week. Just before relief, conflict erupts. Just before momentum, distraction arrives. Just before rest, drama calls your name. Just before the door opens, the noise becomes unbearable. And here is the most dangerous part of all of this. If you don't see the pattern, you will answer Monday the same way you answered the last 3 seasons. The Bible shows us this with terrifying clarity. Elijah, one of the most anointed prophets who ever walked the earth, called fire down from heaven on Mount Carmel. Real fire, visible fire, the kind of miracle that silences every argument. The drought broke. The prophets of Baal were silenced. It was the single greatest moment of his entire ministry. And what happened immediately after? Jezebel sent one message, and Elijah ran into the wilderness and asked God to let him die. Notice the timing. The attack did not come during the years of hiding. It did not come during the famine. It came the moment after the breakthrough. Because that is how this works. Breakthrough triggers backlash. The bigger the door, the louder the noise right before it opens. The mess is not the real event. The mess is the cover event. What surfaces Monday, the conflict, the tension, the misunderstanding, the thing that makes you feel unseen or overlooked or dismissed, that is not the actual contest. That is the visible layer sitting on top of a much deeper spiritual battle. A battle over your focus, your speech, your agreement. Because if the enemy can get you talking in the wrong direction on Monday, reacting, defending, rehearsing the wound, he doesn't need to stop your blessing. You'll delay it yourself. This is why Monday feels loaded before it even begins. You're not imagining it. Your spirit is picking up on something your mind hasn't fully translated yet. The atmosphere is heavy because something old is making its final move. And something old making its final move means something new is right at the edge of arriving. There is a hidden agreement inside many chosen ones that makes this pattern stick, an agreement you didn't consciously sign, but that has been quietly shaping how you receive, how you respond, and how close you let yourself get to the open door before you flinch. And until that agreement is broken, this cycle will keep dressing up in new clothes, new people, new conflict, same ambush, same snake, different skin. If you are tired, genuinely tired of reliving the same emotional ambush season after season, say it right now out loud where only God can hear you. This cycle ends here, because the chaos coming Monday is not proof that your life is cursed. It is not proof that God went silent. It may be the most powerful proof of all, that something old is about to lose its right to follow you. And the only question left is this: when Monday arrives and the cover event begins, will you recognize it for what it is, or will you answer it the same way you always have? That answer starts with understanding something even deeper, something that has been operating beneath this pattern all along, a hidden agreement that most chosen ones carry without even knowing its name. And that is exactly where we are going next. Let me take you back to that moment. You know exactly which one I mean. It wasn't dramatic. It didn't happen on a stage. Nobody filmed it. Nobody applauded it. It happened in a kitchen, or a hallway, or the front seat of your car, and in that moment, something rose up inside you that had every right to speak, every right to defend, every right to make sure the other person understood exactly what they did and exactly what it cost you. And you didn't. You swallowed it. You stepped back. You chose the quiet road when the loud one was right there, wide open, practically begging you to take it. And afterward, if you're honest, you didn't feel noble. You felt weak. You felt invisible. You replayed it 100 times, wondering if you just let someone walk over you one more time. Wondering if peacekeeping had become a habit you couldn't break. Wondering if somewhere along the way, you confused patience with passivity and called it faith. Chosen one, I need you to stay right here with me. Because what I'm about to say may be the most important reframe you have received in years. That moment was not your failure. That moment may have been your finest hour. Here is what the enemy does not want you to understand about silence. He has been replaying that moment in your mind, not because it was a mistake, but because it worked against him. He keeps bringing it back to your memory because he needs you to call it weakness. Because the moment you stop believing it was weakness, you realize it was a weapon. Scripture says in Proverbs 21:23, "Whoever guards his mouth and tongue keeps his soul from troubles." Not his reputation, not his relationships, his soul. There is a level of spiritual warfare where the battlefield is not your circumstances, it is your tongue. And the enemy's entire strategy collapses the moment you refuse to give him the reaction he constructed the situation to produce. Think about Jesus standing before Pilate. False accusations stacking up like bricks, the crowd screaming. And Jesus, who spoke galaxies into existence, said nothing. Not because he had nothing to say, but because the assignment required silence more than it required a defense. His restraint was not retreat. It was strategy wrapped in sovereignty. Think about David the moment Saul hurled a spear at him. David had every right, every justification. The anointing was already on him, and he walked away. Not once, twice. And it was that restraint that proved to heaven, to Saul, and to an entire nation that David could be trusted with a crown. Not every victory makes noise. Some victories are sealed in silence. Think about Joseph, 17 years old, carrying a God-given dream, sitting in a prison that had no business holding a man of his destiny. He didn't perform his pain. He didn't rage against the injustice. He carried the dream quietly, in the dark, without emotional theatrics, until the appointed morning when Pharaoh couldn't sleep and suddenly needed a man exactly like him. Heaven was not ignoring Joseph in that prison. Heaven was finishing a document. And that is what I need you to hear, especially those of you who are older, who have been through enough seasons to carry real regret. You who wonder if you should have fought harder, spoken louder, stood your ground more times than you did. Not every battle was meant to be answered with volume. Some battles were meant to be won with wisdom. Some enemies were meant to be outlasted, not out-argued. And some seasons in your life were designed to test not whether you could fight, but whether you trusted God enough to stand still and let him fight for you. The enemy has been whispering that your restraint cost you something. But what if the opposite is true? What if heaven was not disappointed in your silence but waiting for it? What if that quiet moment when you chose not to react was the exact legal instrument God used to strip the enemy of his permission to continue? Because here is what the spiritual realm understands that our natural minds often miss. When you refuse to engage a demonic provocation, you don't just avoid a conflict, you cancel an assignment. The moment you thought you lost ground may have been the exact moment the enemy lost access. Read that again. Let it land. The cycle that has been running in your life, the one that shows up right before every breakthrough, it needed your reaction to survive. It needed your words, your wounds, your emotional participation to keep its legal right to operate. And when you went quiet, you may have done something more powerful than any argument ever could have. You starved it. If you chose peace when everything in you wanted to react, type right now, "My silence was not surrender." Because it wasn't. And before this message is finished, I am going to show you the hidden agreement beneath the surface, the one that has been quietly converting your greatest acts of restraint into seeds of self-doubt. That agreement has a name, and once you see it clearly, it loses all of its power over you. I need to say something to you right now that nobody in your life has been brave enough to say, and I need you to let it land not just in your mind, but somewhere deeper, somewhere you've been protecting for a very long time. At some point in your life, you made an agreement. You didn't sign anything. Nobody handed you a document. There was no moment you consciously chose it. But somewhere between the betrayal that blindsided you, the diagnosis that rewrote everything, the loss that left a hole nothing has filled since, somewhere in the middle of all of that, your soul quietly learned something. Good things don't last for me. Maybe it sounded like, every time something starts to bloom, something comes to ruin it. Maybe it sounded like, I should enjoy this carefully because it won't stay. Maybe it was even quieter than that. Maybe it was just a flinch, a bracing, a pulling back right before a blessing could fully land because part of you was already preparing for it to be taken. That is the agreement. And chosen one, that agreement has been running your life longer than you realize. This is not blame. Hear me clearly, this is not condemnation. This is revelation. Because you cannot dismantle what you cannot first see. And right now, in this moment, God is giving you eyes to see something that has been hiding in plain sight inside your own chest. Think about the Israelites. God parted the Red Sea. Literal walls of water standing on both sides. They walked through on dry ground in the middle of the sea. And 3 days later, 3 days, they were complaining about water. Not because they were wicked people, because their souls had been trained by 400 years of slavery to expect that good things end. That relief is temporary. That freedom has a catch. They had been delivered from Egypt, but Egypt had not been fully delivered from them. And beloved, that is the most dangerous prison. Not the one built around you, the one built inside you. Elijah called fire down from heaven, actual fire. And the moment Jezebel sent one threatening message, one sentence, he ran into the wilderness and begged God to let him die. Not because the threat was greater than the miracle, but because his soul, exhausted and unguarded, defaulted back to the agreement. This won't hold. It never does. Thomas, brilliant, loyal. Thomas stood in a room with 10 men who had seen the risen Christ with their own eyes, 10 witnesses. And he still said, "Unless I put my finger in the wounds, I will not believe." Not because he lacked intelligence, because he had been trained by grief to protect himself from hope. There is one sentence most chosen ones have never said out loud, but they have lived by it every single day. I'll believe it when it lasts. And the terrifying thing is, that sentence feels like wisdom. It feels like maturity. It feels like you're protecting yourself from being foolish again. But chosen one, God calls it something else. He calls it a sealing. A sealing inherited from the wounded version of you, built in a season of survival, and never dismantled when the season changed. Here is where I need to be uncomfortably honest with you, because I love you enough to say it. There is a version of patience that is holy. It is quiet. It is grounded. It trusts the timing of God with open hands. And then there is another version that looks exactly like patience on the outside, but on the inside, it is fear dressed in spiritual clothing. It is the false humility of staying small, of not asking for too much, of not hoping too loudly, because somewhere deep down you don't fully believe you're allowed to have what you're praying for. And Monday, this specific Monday, is going to test that agreement. The enemy knows the exact pressure point. He knows which conversation to arrange, which silence to manufacture, which small moment of feeling overlooked will reach back through 30 years of memory and whisper, "See, this is how it always goes for you." But here is what heaven is saying right now, that sealing is not your destiny, it is your history. Proverbs 23:7 says, "As a man thinks in his heart, so is he." Not as the enemy schemes, not as circumstances suggest, as he thinks in his heart, which means the agreement in your heart has been shaping your reality more than any external force ever could. The real prison may not be the last hard thing that happened to you. It may be the expectation you built afterward. And by the end of this message, we are going to break that agreement permanently. But first, you have to see it clearly and say it out loud. If you are ready to stop expecting every blessing to break, say it right now. I renounce the agreement with delay, because what is coming next is not another wave of the same storm. It is the morning after. Now that you know something is coming, let me tell you exactly what it is going to look like. Because the enemy is not creative, he is calculated. He runs the same play every single time, and he runs it right before a breakthrough, because that is the only moment it actually matters to him. Here is how Monday shows up. It does not arrive as something dramatic. It does not announce itself. It walks in quiet, through a tone of voice that feels slightly off, through a text message that lands wrong, through a family member who says the one thing that reaches directly into the place you have not fully healed yet, through financial news that hits at the exact moment your faith was just starting to stand, through confusion in a conversation that should have been simple, through a silence that feels colder than it has any right to be. And then right in the middle of all of that, something rises up inside you. The urge to explain yourself, the urge to make someone understand you, to chase clarity from a person who has already decided what they think, to defend your character to someone who is committed deeply, stubbornly committed to misunderstanding you. And beloved, that urge, that rising, burning, completely human urge is the trap. Proverbs 29:11 says it plainly. A fool gives full vent to his spirit, but a wise man quietly holds it back. The enemy does not need to destroy your Monday. He only needs your mouth. He needs you to speak from the open wound instead of from your covering. He needs you to hand your voice to the storm. He needs chaos to borrow your tongue, because the moment your words come from pain instead of purpose, you have entered into an agreement. And that agreement is what he has been building toward all week. This is the real war. Not over events, not over circumstances, over agreement. The enemy wants your mouth to partner with your fear. Think about that for 10 seconds. Your fear already has a narrative. It already has a story it wants to tell about what Monday means, about what that silence means, about what that tone meant, about what is or is not going to happen. And if your mouth picks up that narrative and starts speaking it out loud, you have just given it authority it did not have before you opened your lips. Job 3. Job opened his mouth from his wound, and the very thing he feared came upon him. Not because God punished him for speaking, but because words spoken from the deepest place of dread carry a spiritual weight that the enemy knows how to work with. This is not theory. This is the architecture of how spiritual defeat actually happens in real life. You were not destroyed by a demon. You were worn down by a week, and then you said the wrong thing to the wrong person at the wrong moment, and a door cracked open that God had spent months trying to close. There is one sentence you must not say on Monday. I will give it to you before this message ends. But right now, I need you to understand the pattern so completely that when it shows up, you recognize it before you react to it. When the disrespect comes, and it may come, pause. When the bad news hits, breathe. When everything in you wants to over-explain, over-defend, chase down the person who dismissed you and make them see delay. Not because your feelings are wrong. Your feelings may be completely valid, but valid feelings released at the wrong moment to the wrong person become weapons the enemy picks up and uses against your own destiny. You are not called to be silent forever. You are called to be strategic right now. There is a critical difference between urgency and assignment. Monday is going to feel urgent. Everything about it is going to scream that this situation requires your immediate response. But not every fire is your fire. Not every open door is a door God sent you through. Some open doors are traps dressed like opportunities, and some urgent conversations are just chaos trying to borrow your voice. Mistaking urgency for assignment is one of the most expensive errors a chosen one can make at the edge of a season shift. So here is what you do instead. You pause. You pray even 10 seconds of real prayer. You breathe until your chest stops tightening. You observe the pattern before you participate in it. You choose presence over reaction. And when the moment passes, and it will pass, you will realize something that changes everything. Monday was not trying to destroy your life. It was trying to bait your agreement. That is it. That is the whole strategy. One agreement, one reactive sentence, one moment of speaking from the wound instead of the word, and the enemy has what he came for. If you are still here, that means this word is for you. Share it right now with one person who always gets hit hardest right before their breakthrough. You know exactly who that is. And type right now, "I will not speak from pain," because there is one declaration you need to speak before Monday begins, and what I am about to show you next is the thing the enemy has been hoping you never hear. Let me tell you something that most people will never say out loud. There are words sacred, precise, heaven-sent words that arrive in your spirit like a lit match, and the moment you carry them into the wrong room, the moment you let the wrong voice breathe on them, they go out. Not because the word wasn't real, but because revelation is fragile before it is rooted. That is why you are here alone. Not because God forgot about the people around you. Not because solitude is some spiritual performance you are supposed to put on, but because what is being released over your life right now needs to land before it is handled. It needs to settle into your bones before anyone else gets to touch it with their opinion. And beloved, here is what nobody warned you about. The people closest to you are not always your greatest danger when they are against you. Sometimes they are most dangerous when they mean well. Because a person who loves you but cannot feel what you are feeling will reach for your revelation with good intentions and unintentionally put it out. They will say, "Are you sure that's God?" They will say, "Don't get your hopes up." They will say nothing at all, and that silence will be louder than anything they could have spoken. And you, because you have spent a lifetime being considerate, being careful not to make others uncomfortable, being the one who adjusts, you will start to doubt what you clearly felt. You will translate heaven's frequency into something smaller, something safer, something that fits the room. That ends today. Because what God is doing in your life right now is not a rumor. It is not a feeling you need permission to trust. It is a movement, and it deserves the full, undivided attention of your spirit before it becomes a conversation. Look at how Jesus operated. Before every major moment, before miracles, before confrontations, before the cross itself, he withdrew. Luke 5:16 says, "He often slipped away to the wilderness to pray." Not once, often. The Son of God, with all authority in heaven and earth, understood something that we keep forgetting. The private room is where power is received. The public stage is only where it is released. Moses did not come down the mountain with the commandments until he had gone up alone first. 40 days, no crowd, no committee, no one to validate the experience. Just a man, a mountain, and the voice of God burning through stone. Elijah, exhausted, defeated, ready to die, did not hear God in the earthquake, not in the fire, not in the wind that tore the mountains apart. He heard him in a still, small voice. 1 Kings 19:12, and that whisper, it could only be received because everything else had finally gone quiet. Chosen one, when was the last time everything went quiet for you? Not quiet like an empty afternoon, quiet like consecration, quiet like you made a deliberate choice to protect the ember God placed in you from every wind that wanted to extinguish it. Because that is what this moment is. You are not isolated, you are consecrated. There is a difference that most people never discover, and it is the difference between a life that constantly starts over and a life that finally breaks through. The world will tell you that processing alone is unhealthy, that you need accountability, community, voices around you at every step. And yes, there is a season for all of that. But there is also a season that looks like this. A Monday morning, a quiet room, a word arriving before the noise does. This is that season. You were not told to watch this alone because you are lonely. You were told to watch it alone because this is between your spirit and God before it becomes visible to anyone else. The moment of private surrender always precedes the moment of public transformation. Always, without exception. And right now, underneath all the pressure you have been feeling, underneath the chest tightness and the 3 a.m. waking and the fatigue that has no clean explanation, God has been trying to get you quiet enough to hear the one thing that changes everything. Not a shout, not a spectacle, a whisper with the weight of heaven behind it. If you know deep in your bones that God has been trying to get you still, trying to pull you out of the noise long enough to speak something precise into your life, say it right now. Type it or say it where you are sitting. I make room for the whisper. Hold that, because the next section is where this message turns. Now that you know why you had to come here alone, now that the room of your spirit is settled and the noise has no seat at this table, it is time to tell you what God is actually doing underneath Monday. Not what Monday looks like on the surface, what is being moved, broken, and rebuilt in the unseen, while the visible world looks like chaos. Stay with me, because what comes next is the part the enemy has been working all week to make sure you never reached. Now, I need you to hear this next part with everything you have left inside you, because what I am about to say is going to reframe everything you thought Monday was. Monday is not coming to destroy you. Monday is coming to expose what no longer belongs in your life. It is coming to separate what is real from what has only been comfortable. It is coming to close permanently and without apology doors that should have been shut years ago. This is not a day of loss. This is a day of verdict becoming public. Think about what a courtroom looks like the moment the judge walks in. Everything goes still. Every voice drops. Because everyone in that room knows what is about to be spoken cannot be unspoken. What is about to be sealed cannot be unsealed. That is what this Monday carries. And the mess, the tension, the friction, the unexpected conflict that is already beginning to form at the edges of your week, that is not the storm arriving. That is the old skin tearing. And old skin only tears when new growth underneath it has finally gotten too large to be contained. Now let me speak directly to you, the one who has been in this walk for decades. You have been told, in 100 different ways, that your most powerful days are behind you. The world said it quietly at first, then louder, then in the language of empty calendars, of being passed over, of watching younger hands take what your seasoned ones built. And somewhere along the way, you may have believed it. I am here to dismantle that lie with the word of God. Caleb was 85 years old when he stood before Joshua and said, "Give me this mountain, not give me a chair, not give me a quiet place to rest. Give me the hardest territory left on the map." Caleb had been waiting 45 years for that moment. And when it came, he did not shuffle toward it. He claimed it. Anna was 84 years old, fasting and praying in the temple, when she became one of the first human beings on earth to recognize the Messiah with her own eyes. 84 years old, and God trusted her with the most sacred moment in all of human history. Moses did not begin his greatest assignment until he was 80. Do you understand what the Bible is telling you? God does not retire his chosen ones. He deploys them. There is a difference between retirement and deployment. Retirement means your work is finished. Deployment means your most strategic assignment is just now beginning. You are not in the final chapter of usefulness. You are in the chapter of unveiled weight. And that weight, that depth of experience, that scar tissue turned into wisdom, that faith that has been tested in fires, most people your age would not survive. That is precisely what Monday needs from you. But here is the hard question, the one I need you to sit with for just a moment. What if the emotional pressure you have been feeling, the exhaustion, the low-grade grief, the sense that something in your life simply refuses to move forward, what if that is not the sound of defeat? What if that is the sound of an old season cracking? Because that is exactly what it sounds like when the floor drops out from under old patterns. It does not sound like relief at first. It sounds like instability. It feels like everything is shifting beneath your feet. And the natural response is to grab for something familiar, even if that familiar thing is the very thing God is trying to remove. Let me be specific about what may end this Monday. Old access people who have had a door into your peace that they were never supposed to have. That door is closing. Unhealthy emotional loops, conversations you have had 100 times that always end the same way, leaving you emptier than before. Those loops are breaking. false peace, the quiet that was never really quiet, just suppressed. That surface is cracking open, and your agreement with smallness, the silent belief that maybe the best God has for you already passed that agreement, is being cancelled by heaven this Monday. The mess is not the enemy winning. The mess is what gets revealed when the old structure finally gives way. And what gets revealed underneath it is you. The real you, the deployed you, the chosen you that has been waiting under the weight of a season that was always meant to end. If you believe your later years still carry assignment type right now, I am not retired from purpose. Because before this message closes, I am going to hand you a declaration for Monday morning and seal it with a prayer that puts a boundary around your threshold before the week can touch it. Do not leave before that moment, because the final words of this message are not a conclusion. They are your alignment point. And everything we have built together in this message, every layer, every truth, every reframe, it all converges there. Stay with me. Now listen to me carefully, because what I am about to give you is not inspiration, it is armor. Monday is not asking for your feelings. Monday is not waiting for you to be ready. Monday is already moving, and the question is not whether the pressure will come. The question is whether you will walk through it like someone who already knows the outcome. There is a difference between a person who survives Monday and a person who moves through it without becoming it. One is carried by the current. The other keeps their footing on a shaking floor. And everything I am about to say is designed to make you the second person. Write this down somewhere. Your eyes will find it before 9 a.m. First, do not rush to interpret every emotional wave. Your feelings on Monday morning are not prophecy. They are weather, and weather changes. If you wake up feeling heavy, do not immediately build a theology around that heaviness. Do not decide the day is ruined before the sun has cleared the skyline. Lamentations 3:22 says, "His mercies are new every morning, not every afternoon, not after you've assessed the damage. Every morning, let the mercy arrive before the verdict does." Second, do not make permanent statements under temporary pressure. This is where so many chosen ones crack. The conflict hits, the misunderstanding lands, and in that moment of heat, they say something that takes months to undo. Proverbs 29:11 says, "A fool gives full vent to his spirit, but a wise person quietly holds it back." What you do not say on Monday may be the most powerful thing you do all week. Third, do not answer every message the moment it arrives. Not every text deserves an immediate response. Not every provocation deserves your voice. Some things are sent specifically to pull you off your frequency. The enemy knows your phone number. He knows which names on your screen make your chest tighten. You are allowed to set it down. You are allowed to breathe before you reply. Fourth, do not go looking for validation in wounded places. This one is for you, especially chosen one, especially if you are carrying years behind you, decades of giving, of pouring out, of showing up, and you know what it feels like to reach towards someone who should see you and find nothing there. Do not go back to that well on Monday. John 4:14 says Jesus gives water that becomes a spring welling up to eternal life. The spring is inside you. Stop trying to drink from people who have already shown you they are dry. Fifth, pray before you explain, before you defend yourself, before you make your case, before you pick up that phone to explain your side of the story. Pray first. Let God hear it before any human does. Because sometimes what feels like an urgent conversation is actually an invitation to give away your peace to someone who was never meant to hold it. Sixth, if confusion rises, return to stillness before speech. Confusion is not a sign that you need more information. Confusion is often a sign that you need less noise. Isaiah 30:15 says, "In quietness and confidence shall be your strength, not in arguing, not in analyzing. In quietness." When the fog rolls in on Monday and it will step back before you step forward, the fog never lasts. But the words you speak inside it Sometimes do. Seventh, choose one sentence of truth and repeat it through the entire day. Just one. Carry it like oil through a noisy hallway. Let it be this: I will not let temporary chaos make permanent decisions for me. Say it when the family drama starts. Say it when the guilt shows up, dressed like obligation. Say it when someone you love tries to rewrite your boundaries with their emotions. You are not required to absorb every storm that forms around you. Walking through rain does not mean you have to become the storm. And for those of you who have lived long enough to know the weight of family pressure, hear me directly. Do not let guilt, dressed up as love, pull you back into a season God already closed. Emotional familiarity is not the same as divine assignment. Just because something feels like home does not mean God told you to go back there. If something pulls your spirit into fog, step back. Guard your peace like it is the last thing you own, because in many seasons it is. You do not have to control Monday. You only have to refuse partnership with what is not from God. That is it. That is the whole assignment. Not performance, not perfection, just refusal. Refuse the offense. Refuse the spiral. Refuse the agreement that says this chaos defines you, because it does not. Now, I want to give you the final declaration. The one that seals this word over your Monday before Monday makes its first move. Stay with me. And if this message has spoken directly into your exact season, like this video right now and leave a testimony in the comments, because somewhere out there, someone else is reading your words at 2 inches the morning, and your testimony is the reason they do not give up. The declaration is coming, and it will change the atmosphere of your week. Stay with me, because everything we have walked through together, every layer, every revelation, every moment of recognition that made something tighten in your chest, it was all building to this, and this is where it lands. The heaviness you carried into this week was not random suffering. It was not proof that God stepped back. It was not evidence that you were losing ground. That weight, the one that pressed against your ribs at 3 inches the morning, the one that sleep could not lift, the one that sat in the room, even when everything around you looked fine, that was the pressure of a season that is ending. And endings, chosen one, always feel heavier than beginnings, because something real is being closed, permanently. The cycle you kept living through, the conflict arriving right before the breakthrough, the disruption showing up the moment your faith found momentum, the wound reopening exactly when the promise was closest, that was never bad luck. That was a pattern, a targeted, timed, strategic pattern designed to interrupt you at the precise moment of your greatest proximity to what God ordained. And your silence this week, the moment you pulled back, swallowed the reaction, chose restraint, when everything in you was ready to ignite, that was not weakness wearing the costume of patience. That was strategy wearing the costume of surrender. Heaven used it. And what the enemy read as your retreat was actually your most devastating advance. Proverbs 21:23 says it plainly. Whoever guards his mouth and tongue keeps his soul from trouble. You guarded it. And in doing so, you guarded something far larger than a conversation. You guarded the door to your next season. Monday is coming. And yes, it may be messy. It may bring friction where you wanted peace. It may bring silence where you needed to feel seen. It may bring the familiar face of a pattern that has knocked you down before. But hear me clearly, Monday's mess is not your master. You are not walking into Monday empty. You are walking in aware. And awareness, chosen one, changes everything. Because a person who sees the trap before they step into it does not step into it. A person who knows the enemy's move before it forms does not react, they reign. Now place your hand over your heart and say this slowly, mean every word. Father, I renounce every agreement I have made with confusion, delay, fear, and misinterpretation. I will not call myself abandoned when you are positioning me. I will not call my restraint weakness when heaven used it as strategy. I will not reopen what you are closing. I will not speak from pain, react from fear, or bow to familiar chaos. If Monday shakes, I will remain rooted. If voices rise, I will remain clear. If old patterns call my name, I will not answer. I am chosen, covered, and carried. My peace will not be auctioned. My purpose is not behind me. And this week will not own my voice. In Jesus' name, amen. That prayer did not just leave your lips. It went into the room the enemy was building for Monday, and it locked the door from the inside. The mess may still show up. Chosen one, I will not promise you a smooth week, but I will promise you this: it will not own you. The disruption has no authority over a spirit that has already decided. And you just decided. Romans 8:28 does not say some things work together for good. It says all things. The friction, the silence, the pattern, the pressure, the sleepless night, all of it, already being woven, already being turned. The mess was never the prophecy. Your clarity in the middle of it was. That is what heaven was always after. Not a version of you that never gets tested, a version of you that cannot be moved when the test arrives. And that version, chosen one, is standing right here, right now, in this moment. If you receive this, type right now, Monday will not break me. Send this to the one person in your life who always gets hit hardest right before their breakthrough. You know exactly who that is. They need this word before Monday finds them unprepared. Subscribe if you are hungry for messages that do not just excite you, but prepare you. And when Monday passes, come back. Leave your testimony right here in the comments, because someone who is watching this next week will need to see that you made it through. Your testimony is somebody else's survival guide. Chosen one, let the storm make its noise if it must. Heaven has already decided what gets to stay, and what God has decided, not Monday, not the enemy, not the pattern, not the pain, nothing gets to overrule. Go now, covered, rooted, clear. This week was always yours.